Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. I'm your host, Boyd Pierce, and I'm exciting because we have exciting matches coming up. All the top stars are here, including the Ugandan Warrior, Kamala. Also, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. Ted DiBiase will be on the card. And the Alamo Busters, the Mexican brothers, Chavo and Hector Guerrero. Also, Hacksaw Butch Reed. So they're all here ready for action. To tell you about it this week, a man who needs no introduction to Mid-South area, as well as wrestling fans all over the world, Jim Ross.
Well, Boyd, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us here this week on Mid-South Wrestling. A great new tag team is going to unfold today, and Brad Armstrong and Terry Taylor, they'll be in our first match here on Mid-South Wrestling, and Joe Watts has, as usual, prepared a tremendous video on Terry Taylor. Rod Stewart will provide the music. Do You Think I'm Sexy? A lot of girls do with Terry Taylor. Now let's take a special look at this great young star.
Our opening event, a four-man tag team bout, one fall or 10-minute time limit. Introducing from Albany, Georgia, 237 pounds, Dale Vesey. From Los Angeles, 233 pounds, Nature Boy Buddy Landell. Their opponents at 228 pounds from Marietta, Georgia, the current North America champion, Brad Armstrong. And from Vero Beach, Florida, at 231 pounds, Terry Taylor.
Tag team action being introduced, Dale Vesey and Nature Boy Buddy Landell, and their opponents, the popular stars, as you can tell by the tumultuous amount of noise made here at ringside by our fine fans, the introduction of Terry Taylor and North American heavyweight champion Brad Armstrong. Randy Anderson is the referee, and here's Jim Ross.
Well, thank you very much, Boyd. Whoa! Nature Boy Buddy Landell with that slap. And Armstrong retaliates. And we got a Pier 6 already started right here. All four men in the ring, ladies and gentlemen. This is starting out like a house of fire. Oh, double elevation. Vesey and Landell went up in the sky on that one.
And they both made a quick exit, leaving only the two stars, Brad Armstrong and Terry Taylor, in the ring. Here comes Buddy Landell, Brad Armstrong, and now it's a one-on-one as Randy Anderson tries to get things back under control.
Well, Brad Armstrong is the current North American heavyweight champion. His father, Bob Armstrong, a great grappler in his own right. So Brad has got that tremendous heritage going behind Buddy Landell. Landell with the elbow right to the, looked like right to the ear, Boyd, and then Veazey comes in. There's the tag. Dale Veazey and Brad Armstrong. High hip toss. Armstrong taking over on Dale Veazey. There's the tag. In comes Terry Taylor. This is a great young team. Terry Taylor and Brad Armstrong. And they're taking it over on Dale Veazey. Woo! Terry Taylor with a thunderous warm. 1, 2, 3.
And listen to the fans. A gigantic victory here on Mid-South Wrestling for Brad Armstrong and Terry Taylor. We have something really interesting.
Well, we sure do, Boyd. No doubt about that. You know, Hacksaw Jim Douglas, one of the most charismatic men in all of wrestling. He couldn't be with us here today because of some prior commitments, but Joe Watts has got a video on the Hacksaw. Let's see it now.
2 long years have passed since Hacksaw Douglas come to the Mid-South, and a lot of things have happened. Not to mention what has been going on with Skandor Akbar when I first got here, and what I thought was my good friend Ted DiBiase. Well, a lot of people don't understand exactly what Skandor Akbar's problem was, but this is part of the problem right here. The American flag, something that I stand tall and stand proud for. Skandor Akbar and that whole Iranian situation. Fine, we've got the 52 hostages out, but we lost a lot of men in that failed rescue attempt. And maybe if somebody went back and checked some of the names, they'd understand why Hacksaw Douglas stands so proud for this flag.
Boys are cooking down in Carolina. People down in Florida can't be still when Leonard Skinner's picking down in Jacksonville. People down in Georgia come from near and far to hear Richard Best picking on that red guitar. So gather round, chill and get down. Well, just get down, chill and get loud. Well, you can be loud here and be proud. And you can be proud here and I'll be proud too. Well, because South's gonna do it again. And again.
I'll get ready of myself. I'm proud of this flag. Not too many years ago, it was pretty neat not to be too patriotic. But times have changed. Anytime you stick a flag in someone's grave on 4th of July or Veterans Day, you think of the supreme sacrifice that so many of our brothers, so many of our sisters paid. And so I'm so thankful that I didn't have to pay that sacrifice, but they did it, and I'm proud of it, and I'm standing tall for our flag. God bless America.
The South's going to do it again by the Charlie Daniels Band, the Hacksaw Dugan video. The South is going to do it again here in the Mid-South Wrestling television area. And we have something really interesting coming up, a fantastic statement by Iceman King Parsons. You'll be able to hear it along with us when we come right back after this important message from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, Iceman King Parsons, prior to going on the air today, asked for some time to speak to the fans of the Mid-South area. I was with him at ringside. It's a very important announcement that the Iceman made. and let's hear exactly what he had to say. Ladies and gentlemen, Iceman King Parsons has requested this time here on Mid-South Wrestling to make a very important announcement to the fans of the Mid-South area.
You know, brother, last week here, I had Akbar #1 man. And to me, he ain't a man, he's an animal. And I know y'all can dig that. See, it's one thing the old man always told Iceman back home. He say, it ain't hard to put a good man down. He say, but it's hard to keep him there. Now, you know when I was back there in Dallas, me and that Akbar, we got it on. But see, when the good Lord made him, he forgot one thing to give Akbar, and that's guts. See, where I come from, only the strong survive, and the weak shall kneel by the riverside. And Akbar ain't got no guts. And you know, I was holding my own with that sucker, with that animal. But Akbar just, it's something about him, just sent hatred all over me. And I just took my eyes off that animal, and it cost me. But I tell you what I'm gonna do. Yes, sir, Akbar, this is directly to you. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm going back to Dallas, and I'm gonna finish my business. Then I'm packing all my bags. I'm packing all my grips and get in my limousine, and I'm moving to the Mid-South. And you can take this to the bank, baby. This Mid-South, it ain't big enough for me and you, Akbar. It ain't big enough for me and you. One of us got to go, brother. One of us got to go. Now, I know in my heart right now that Hacksaw Butch Reed is your #1 victim you want to get rid of. Well, me and Reed is like 2 peas in a pot. And we don't start moving till the water get hot. Have mercy.
You know, Boyd, I think Iceman King Parsons brought out some very key points. Number one, he did turn his back on Kamala, which he cannot do because of his tremendous hatred for General Skandor Akbar. He's going back to Dallas. He's packing up his things. He's going to finish his business there, and he's more or less moving to the Mid-South area. And between he and Hacksaw Butch Reed, that's going to be a lot of soul for General Skandor Akbar to contend with. And we'll be seeing more of the Iceman. He'll be here with us next week. And right now, let's go to ring announcer Jack Curtis and our next great match.
This event, 1 fall or a 10-minute time limit. In the ring, from Summersville, Georgia, 225 pounds, Mike Starbuck. And now, let's bring the Ugandan Warrior to the ring. Coming in the ring at 387 pounds from Uganda, along with Friday and the General Skandor Akbar, ladies and gentlemen, Kamala, the Ugandan Giant.
1 fall or 10-minute time limit here on Mid-South. Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior. You can see his assistant Friday just manning him there with things that are not necessary for the bout. And his advisor and manager, General Skandor Akbar, listening to the beckon and call of the referee, Carl Fergie, who's explaining the rules. Of course, we know that Skandor Akbar is well aware of the rules, and whether he adheres to them, it would be something different if he does. His opponent, Mike Starbuck. There's the bell, and Kamala wastes little time. The practice is on, and here's Jim.
Well, I know there's some tough men that come out of the state of Georgia, but I don't know if Mike Starbuck has ever seen anything, because Kamala is just about as far away from Georgia as you can get, being from Uganda, and he's taking right over on Mike Starbuck, not wasting any time. General Skandor Akbar and Friday will monitor the action from the outside of the ring, and whether it's hand signals or whatever it is, they do in some manner communicate with this tremendous specimen. 387 pounds, and I mentioned last week, Boyd, I don't know what you'd weigh him on, perhaps cattle scales or something, because he is just, look at this. Kamala, that great strength, just shaking Mike Starbuck like a rag doll.
Like you said, no finesse, just raw sheer power.
And Boyd, as I mentioned, he looks to be impervious to pain. I've never seen him change expressions. Oh! Simply an awesome chop that would seemingly take off a tree limb. Kamala just tried to D-head Starbuck. Some type of karate type blow. And Kamala now with a blatant chokehold. The referee, there you see Friday, some sort of signal. But now Friday's got the referee detained. This is a bad position for Carl Fergie to allow Friday to get himself into. But you can't ignore Boyd. You can't ignore Friday or Akbar on the outside as far as the third man.
And they're both on opposite sides, which makes it double tough.
Kamala double chop. As I mentioned, he's defeated some of the greatest athletes in wrestling. Kamala getting that running start. 387. 387 pounds on Mike Starbuck. 1, 2, and 3, and you could have probably counted to 30.
Whatever count you wanted to make, and 1, 2, 3 is all that is sufficient a victory for Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior. And we have the Rock and Roll Express coming up in tag team action when we return right after this word.
Our next event, a 4-man tag team bout scheduled for 10 minutes or one fall. Introducing at 274 pounds from North Carolina, Bob Owens. His tag partner from Athens, Georgia, 255 pounds, Mark Hill. And now let's bring the Rock and Roll Express. At combined weight, 420 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rock and Roll Express.
Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson against the team of Mark Hill and Big Bad Bob Owens from North Carolina. Now you see the referee, Ron West, signaling for the bell, and we have Bob Owens against Robert Gibson. Jim?
Well, the Rock and Roll Express, the most popular tag team in the history of Mid-South Wrestling, going against the big team, and Bob Owens and Mark Hill. Gibson elevating Bad Bob Owens. Tag was made. Ricky Morton will be the legal man momentarily. Drop kick. How do you do, Bad Bob? Arm twist by Morton, and Morton going right to work on the arm of Bob Owens. There's another tag. In comes Robert Gibson, and you will not see, ladies and gentlemen, any better working team anywhere than these two men dressed in red, the Rock and Roll Express. Robert Gibson in the ring, and the man he's tagging, Ricky Morton. Bad Bob Owens has been derailed thus far in this encounter here on Mid-South Wrestling, and a lot more action to come, ladies and gentlemen, including Ted DiBiase, the Guerreros, Sheik Hercules Hernandez, Hacksaw Butch Reed, and much more in this hour. Ricky Morton's got that arm twist. Legal maneuver. And Ricky and Robert using some of the tactics that have been made infamous by their opponents, and I cannot blame them for that. They're on a rage to get those Mid-South tag team titles.
Well, the weight disadvantage is some 50 to 60 pounds, Jim Ross, but you know how much it's worrying this team, this capable, clever, agile team of Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, not one bit that it bothered them. They're taking it to them.
That's exactly right. What an encounter they had here last week. And that dream match against DiBiase and the Sheik, and I really think they had the upper hand virtually the whole match until they knocked the referee out and choked Morton down with that turban. Ricky Morton buried one deep into the stomach of Bad Bob Owens. A thunderous knee lift, and Morton. Owens is trying to get the corner. He needs to make the tag, and he does. It's our first look now of Mark Hill. Hill is introduced very quickly to Ricky Morton. There's a tag. Double elbow, and boy, Mark Hill went right on his nose. High elevation. Mark Hill is in deep trouble. Double drop kick. A double drop kick by the Rock and Roll Express. Ronnie West down 1, 2, and 3.
You talk about smooth tag team action. You just viewed it, ladies and gentlemen.
They're great.
The Rock and Roll Express are victors. We'll be back with more action after this important message from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Our next event, one fall or 10 minutes time limit. From Omaha, 259 pounds, Ted DiBiase. His opponent from San Antonio, Texas at 220 pounds, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels being introduced. Earlier his opponent was named Ted DiBiase from Omaha, Nebraska. A tremendous, rugged grappler that you've seen him many times here on Mid-South Wrestling. Ted DiBiase, who holds back nothing in any match. Jim?
He certainly doesn't, Boyd. Of course, he's one of the great tacticians in all of wrestling. As fine a technical wrestler as you will ever see. He always has a game plan. He always has strategy mapped out, and when he put his mind and General Skandor Akbar's mind together, the devious and underhanded things that they come up with sometimes are just beyond comprehension. But young Shawn Michaels has really found a soft spot in the heart of the fans of Mid-South Wrestling. But he'll need more than just their support. He'll need to utilize that great athletic ability to stay in there with Ted DiBiase, one of the finest in the profession. You saw DiBiase, Michaels went for that high hip toss. DiBiase blocked it. Now DiBiase trying to take over on young Shawn Michaels with that body slam. Elbow smash right to the solar plexus. Now DiBiase with a rear chin lock. Great camera shot by our production crew from KTBS Channel 3. As Ted DiBiase has really got the rear chin lock secured on young Shawn Michaels.
Well, he's the leader of the Rat Pack, the Big Cheese, Ted DiBiase.
Great maneuver by Shawn Michaels. He was thinking there, and DiBiase, you can see the look of disgust on his face as he came up. Michaels inside drop cradle. And DiBiase is boiling. DiBiase is boiling. Look at another penny predicament one. Shawn Michaels, I'm impressed. But DiBiase coming right back. As I mentioned, he always has a game plan. If it does go astray, he has the tremendous ability to improvise. DiBiase with the elbow, catching Shawn Michaels coming off the ropes. Using the second rope, DiBiase comes down once again on this young man from San Antonio, Texas. DiBiase kicked him right in the face. Those nice facial features of young Shawn Michaels may be rearranged, boy, before this one's over. Great clothesline. DiBiase tried to tear his head off. DiBiase, the self-proclaimed king of the Rat Pack, General Skandor Akbar's close associate. Power slam. DiBiase with a power slam. It looks like he's setting down for the figure four. DiBiase going into the figure four. He's got it locked, Shawn Michaels.
And once he locks it in, that's it. For the opponents of Ted DiBiase, this time it's Shawn Michaels. And we'll be back with tag team action when we return right after this word from the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Our next event, one fall, a 10-minute time limit. Introducing from Knoxville, Tennessee, 224 pounds, Tim Horner. His tag partner, 226, from Paducah, Tony Falk. Now let's bring out the Guerreros.
Ay, Jalisco, 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 tú tienes tu novia, que es Guadalajara. muchacha bonita, la perla más rara de todo Jalisco es mi Guadalajara. Y me gusta escuchar los mariachis cantar con el alma.
Hey, here they are, ladies and gentlemen, from Mexico City, a combined weight over 435 pounds. This is Chavo and Hector Guerrero.
Tag team action now. Chavo and Hector Guerrero, who like to be referred to as the Alamo Busters from Mexico City. The brother team as they go against the popular duo of Tony Falk and Tim Horner, who's in the ring now. The official for this match, Carl Fergie. So starting it off, Chavo Guerrero and Tim Horner. Jim?
Well, boy, the fans were with us last week, and we certainly hope that they were. They saw the Guerreros in tag team action against Private Terry Daniels and Hacksaw Butch Reed, and they are not below or above using those bandoleros to work over an opponent. Great maneuver by young Tim Horner. Arm drag takeover, lightning quick, and one more. Horner is all over Chavo Guerrero. And Guerrero sees nowhere to go but to the outside. There is some sanctuary on the floor. You know, these young men are very proud of their Mexican heritage, and I don't have a problem with that. But they continually run down the United States, and I do have a problem with that, boy. I'm sure you do, and the fans.
Exactly. Especially as we look at the walls, we see the flags gracefully flying in the states of Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, and Mississippi, the major states comprising the Mid-South Wrestling Television Network, all of them proud to be members of the United States of America.
You better believe it, and of course, the Guerreros have worked in so many tag team matches. They're tag team specialists, as are the Rock and Roll Express. Chavo catapults Tim Horner out of that corner. There's the tag. In comes Hector Guerrero. Chavo, the older brother, goes out. Hector with a side headlock on Tim Horner. One of our bright young stars in the Mid-South area, Tim Horner, in there against Chavo Guerrero. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up, Sheik Hercules Hernandez of General Skandor Akbar's Army. Plus, you'll also see Hacksaw Butch Reed today right here on Mid-South Wrestling, so don't you go away. Hector tags in his brother, Chavo. Tim Horner now has been slowed considerably. He needs to make a tag with his partner, and there he does. Tony Falk from Paducah, Kentucky comes in, and it's cut off very quickly, dropped toe hold. Nice maneuver there by Chavo Guerrero, and look at this. Boy, this is a very unusual maneuver. Look at this guillotine type thing. He's got the legs grapevine. This maneuver is a submission type maneuver that Chavo had on Falk, and there you see the tag. These young men, the Guerreros, are very, very smooth in their tags. And they're very, very devious, no doubt about that. There's a tag. It's a broad kick. Tremendous maneuver by Chavo Guerrero. He really stuck that foot deep into the solar plexus of Tony Falk.
They're using all the facilities they have at their disposal. Their heads, their feet, their arms, hands.
Chavo comes off that second rope with that cannonball type maneuver. And that should be all for Tony Falk. They got the leg grapevine 1, 2, and 3. And the Guerreros once again are victorious here on Mid-South Wrestling.
We'll be back. More action coming up right after this word, so stay with us.
Our next event, one fall or a 10-minute time limit. Introducing at 258 pounds from Bad Street, ladies and gentlemen, Sheik Hernandez, along with the General Skandor Akbar. His opponent tonight, 202 pounds from Birmingham, Alabama, Mike Jackson.
General Skandor Akbar proudly presenting Sheik Hercules Hernandez against Birmingham, Alabama's Mike Jackson. Randy Anderson calling to the bell, and ordering Akbar outside the ring.
Well, Skandor Akbar is having some words with Mike Jackson. Perhaps that's some more subterfuge that Akbar likes to utilize, as he now is on the apron giving instructions to one of his henchmen, Sheik Hercules Hernandez, a man that Akbar has given the title Sheik to and has bestowed a great deal of money and a lot of confidence in this man. Look at the strength. Hernandez just carry Mike Jackson around the ring, try to drive him through the canvas.
Another man, Jim, was not too much finesse on his hold, but more like Kamala, raw, sheer, unvarnished power. Hercules Unchained.
He certainly is, and as I've heard him say on our interview segments, Mid-South Wrestling, Akbar has really given him a new lease on life, so to speak, as he takes over on the young man from Birmingham, Alabama, Mike Jackson, who has been in the ring with, I'm sure the fans know, as tough a competition as there is in America. Very intelligent young man with 2 master's degrees, a full-time high school instructor, but that education is not an ally at this point in time, as Sheik Hercules Hernandez is really unloading on Mike Jackson.
Hercules Hernandez, Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior, his associate, Ted DiBiase, he's instilled a crippler instinct.
And you heard not only is Hernandez, the Sheik, inflicting so much physical pain, he's also a lot of verbal abuse on Mike Jackson. Great elbow. Hernandez is very quick. He is very light on his feet for a man that weighs almost 260 pounds. That 500-pound bench press strength. He just drove a big right hand into looked like the jaw or the chest area of Mike Jackson, as referee Randy Anderson checks that front face lock. And when a man that strong wraps the front face lock on you, brother, she is nailed in. Mike Jackson backing Hernandez into the corner. Jackson, futile punch to the midsection had really no effect on the Big Sheik as he kicks away at Mike Jackson. Jackson's not intimidated, but I'll tell you, this Hernandez is quite a specimen. Another powerful body slam. Massive elbow on Mike Jackson, and really Hernandez has controlled this match from the opening bell. Just dropped him right across that top cable like he was a rag doll, Boyd. Shinnomaki. He's trying to set that Shinnomaki on Mike Jackson. That's a devastating maneuver, and he's just jerking him around. A very dangerous maneuver. Referee Randy Anderson looking over very quickly, calls for the bell. That's Shinnomaki. And there you see the winner, Sheik Hercules Hernandez. Shinnomaki once again, Boyd, using it to his advantage in another victory.
He does indeed, and we still have time, so Hacksaw Butch Reed will be in the ring after this message from the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next event, one fall, our TV time remaining, from New Jersey, 268 pounds, Jack Victory. From Kansas City, 260 pounds, Hacksaw Butch Reed.
Big Jack Victory being announced, and the man who would like to gain a victory over Jack Victory, Hacksaw Butch Reed from Kansas. Referee Ron West calls for the bell, and now they hook up. Here's Jim.
Well, Hacksaw Butch Reed, much to the fans' pleasure, has really become a fan favorite. There he covers up very wisely as Jack Victory backed him into the corner. Reed is as tough as they come, a tremendous athlete. He's, as he has said, he is agile, hostile, and mobile. No doubt about that. A football All-American. Arm drag takedown. You see the tremendous quickness, a man at 260 pounds. And Mr. Victory wants referee Ron West to watch those big old soup bones, because he doesn't want to be introduced to those. And now Victory wants a little test of strength. He may be writing his own epitaph to want to test the strength of this man, Boyd.
This has to be a mistake on the part of Jack Victory.
Well, he's a big young man, 268, 269 pounds. But Reed, my goodness, he's one of the strongest men in wrestling. Victory now with those kicks. That's the equalizer. It's not the strength, it's those kicks. But Reed powers him right back down to his knees. Reed's retaliating. Hacksaw Butch Reed is flying high, and he's styling. Thunderous drop kick right to the jaw, and another one. You know, Victory's about 6'3".
He certainly is. And he asked for it and wanted it, and he's being accommodated by Hacksaw Butch Reed.
Well, when it came time for Americans to stand up against General Skandor Akbar and his non-American forces, Reed was the first to go to the head of the line, and he has been there ever since, along with the uncomparable Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
And he has such a following of Mid-South fans now since he's changed and rejected the bid of General Skandor Akbar, and he really appreciates the fan support.
He sure does. Of course, Hacksaw Butch Reed is still tough. He is double tough in that squared circle. As Victory tries to take a cheap shot there, and Reed retaliates. There's those soup bones. Big right hand. Down goes Victory. Another arm drag takedown. Reed to the arm bar.
How do you like the action? Rough and rugged, wild and woolly. You've seen it on the exciting Mid-South Wrestling right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new ratings are in. And Mid-South Wrestling has more than 1.5 million fans watching our program per week in the Mid-South area. We thank you so very much for tuning us in. We appreciate your cards and letters. Keep sending those dream matches in. Victory tried to body slam. He got Reed up, and Reed, like a pit bull, held right on to Big Jack Victory. This packed house at the Irishman Hill Boys Club, you can hear their pleasure as Hacksaw Butch Reed now, the man of the hour, a great American, an All-American, taking over on Jack Victory. Victory now is going to take a few shortcuts. He's going to have to do that to get himself back in the match now. Reed is slowed, but here comes the Hacksaw. Hacksaw Butch Reed's coming right back, ladies and gentlemen. Reed now trying to set himself. Look at this, Boyd. 270 pounds. He's got him up over his head in the gorilla slam. Hacksaw Butch Reed. That should be all she wrote for Jack Victory. 1, 2, 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, next week, there you see Hacksaw Butch Reed, the winner. Cowboy Bill Watson, Joel Watts will be back with us. Iceman King Parsons will be here next week. You'll also see Jake the Snake Roberts here next week. It's going to be another exciting hour for our ring announcer, Jack Curtis, for Boyd Pierce. We certainly look forward to seeing Cowboy Bill Watts and Joel next week. As much time as we have, let's take a special look at Hacksaw Butch Reed as we show you who's responsible for this great program. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Survival. Only the strong can survive. It's called survival. Only the strong can survive. It's called survival. In order to stay alive, it's called survival. Survival, survival, survival. They smile in your face and they talk behind your back. And when you get the story, it's never exact. Some say they're your friends, but they really are not, because they're only out to try and get what you've got. Survival.
Only the strong can survive, it's called survival. And only the strong can survive, it's called survival. In order to stay alive, it's called survival. Survival, survival, survival.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. I'm your host, Boyd Pierce, and we have a lot of exciting action. The popular Iceman King Parsons is back this week on Mid-South. Also, tag team action sees Hacksaw Jim Duggan team up with Private Terry Daniels against Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death Steve Williams. A television title for the Mid-South Television Medallion. It's going to be Terry Taylor versus the champion, Buddy Landell. Also, Brad Armstrong is here. Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior. A lot of exciting action. I'll tell you somebody else that's here. A man who's been laid back, basking in the sunshine in the exotic islands of Hawaii. He's back where he belongs. He's glad to be back, and we're glad to have him. The president of Mid-South Wrestling, our commentator, Bill Watts. Bill?
Well, thank you, Boyd. It's great to be back. The weather was wonderful there. I certainly enjoyed the diving and the surfing, the beach, the whole bit. But there's nothing like home. And this is our 16th year, 1985, to have wrestling and to be involved with it. And I want to say that the fans, that have, the gates have grown, the talent's better, the cards are bigger, everything's more exciting. It's great. You know, on Christmas night, December the 25th, the Rock and Roll Express in New Orleans regained the Mid-South Tag Team titles. Now, DiBiase and Sheik Hercules and Skandor Akbar are protesting, especially since Akbar was unable to be there. They're claiming foul, but the Rock and Roll Express are the Mid-South Tag Champions. And again, let's give them a tribute, because these youngsters, we all love them. Let's listen to Joan Jett and I Love Rock and Roll.
There by the record machine, I knew he must have been about 17. He was strong, playing my favorite song, and I could tell it would be long that he was with me, yeah me, and I could tell it would be long that he was with me, yeah me, singing I love rock and roll. And asked for his name. That don't matter, he said, 'cause it's all the same. Take you home where we can be alone. And next we're moving on. He was with me, yeah me. Next we're moving on. He was with me, yeah me. Singing I love rock and roll. I'm in the jukebox, baby.
I love rock and roll too. They're a great young team. I think the day is beyond us when anybody's going to dominate any title for a long time. The competition is just too intense and too competitive. But this is definitely the favorite team that has ever invaded the Mid-South area. Another thing in 1985, we are going to bar Steve Dr. Death Williams from bringing Mr. Helmet to ringside anymore. You know, we took away the 2x4, the chain, the tennis racket, and the steel chairs. It's fitting, and we've had so much mail about it that 1985 Dr. Death, you can leave your helmet away from the ring. You're going to have to wrestle man to man. And now let's go to the ring announcer, Jim Ross, for our first exciting match here on Mid-South.
This first event on Mid-South Wrestling is one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red quarter from Tampa, Florida, weighing 245 pounds, Rick Oliver. And now, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the Iceman King Parsons.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are
making his way into the ring at 236 pounds. From St. Louis, Missouri, the Iceman King Parsons.
And you saw his gyrations on the outside of the ring and the acceptance for the fans as he came into the ring. Iceman King Parsons against his opponent, Rick Oliver. Paul Fergie, your referee, 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Here comes the jacket off of the Iceman, and here's the bell. Bill's ready.
Boy, 2 weeks ago when I was in Hawaii, I understand the Iceman came over here and took on Kamala, and he was very upset about Akbar and what happened. Matter of fact, he was so upset he told Grizzly Smith, I'm finishing my business in Dallas and I'm coming to Mid-South. He said, I've always wanted to come here. The competition is the finest in the wrestling world, and that just did it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Akbar burned him in Dallas, and he said he's just not going to let Akbar get away unharmed anymore with all the things he's been pulling on him. The Iceman King Parsons side headlock on Rick Oliver. We've not seen Rick Oliver for a couple of years. He looks like he's bigger and stronger. The Iceman is quick. Oliver went up for a body slam, but Iceman slipped behind him. Looks like he got a fast fall out there. Almost, not quite. Body slam. Japanese arm drag. Got an exciting show today here on Mid-South. Tim Horner and Shawn Michaels up next against Chavo and Hector Guerrero. Then Terry Taylor against Buddy Landell for the television title. And Hacksaw Dugan and Private Terry Daniels of the Cobra Corps against Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death. Brad Armstrong against Sheik Hercules. David Diamond against Kamala, and then Jake the Snake Roberts. That'll hyperextend your elbow real quick. Arm bar. You know, when I was in Hawaii, even though it was a vacation of some sort, I went to wrestling there. Saw some stars that I'd not seen in many years, some heading that way, and also saw Kevin Von Erich there, saw Chris Adams, King Curtis Iakia, who was a feared athlete in my era, who was in Hawaii, Lord Blears. The tribute to Peter Maeda, a fine Samoan wrestler who passed away this past year. Iceman King Parsons. Oh, you can hear that backhand chop here and that tremendous headbutt. Skandor Akbar may have stirred up a hornet's nest. He's taken on Butch Reed and he's added fuel to the fire with the Iceman. Hacksaw Dugan, DiBiase, a lot of things happening in 1985 as we kick off a new year in Mid-South Wrestling. Iceman body slam. Going up to that second rope. Rick Oliver's got his brain scattered a little bit. Iceman with a tremendous clothesline off that second rope. 1, 2, 3.
And the Iceman is victorious to the delight of the fans, and we'll be back right after this important message.
Boyd, when we went to Mexico City to sign Chavo and Hector Guerrero, they are international stars. We promised them a title match with the Rock and Roll Express. And of course, then the Rock and Roll Express lost the titles to DiBiase and Sheik Hercules Hernandez, and we were unable to fulfill that commitment. Now the Rock and Roll Express have regained the titles, and Chavo and Hector Guerrero are pressing us. Let's listen to their interview recorded prior to today's broadcast.
Mid-South, we demand the title shot. Finally, you're going to give us the Rock and Roll Express. Mexico's where we're at because we've come to you. Yes, we've come to you. Now we are demanding what is truthfully ours, the Mid-South Wrestling Tag Team titles. But are you going to put them up? Only one thing is in demand, and that is us, the Mexicans, coming to you. Right, Chavo?
Let me tell you something, Mid-South. You went to Mexico and you signed us. I have contacted our lawyers, and by now you should have about 12 letters on your desk demanding that if we do not get a title shot on television, we are suing, and we are suing big. We're tired of it. Our people are tired of it. Our country is tired of it. And I have gone to see the ambassador right here in Louisiana to see what we can do about it, because it is not just. You signed and you promised us a title shot, and we are demanding it, not only here, but on television.
Well, Mid-South realizes its obligation, and we're certainly ready to fulfill it. In 2 weeks, we'll have that match right here on television for the Mid-South Tag Team titles. Now let's go to Jim Ross in the ring.
This tag team match on Mid-South Wrestling is one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the blue corner at 219 pounds from San Antonio, Texas, Shawn Michaels. His partner weighs 224 pounds from Knoxville, Tennessee, Tim Horner.
Ay, Jalisco, 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 tú tienes tu novia, que es Guadalajara.
Ladies and gentlemen, now in the ring at a combined weight of 435 pounds from Mexico City, Mexico, Chavo and Hector Guerrero.
The introduction of the tag team match now, Tim Horner and Shawn Michaels against the Guerrero brothers. Chavo and Hector, who told me on their first appearance some weeks ago here on Mid-South that they are direct descendants of Pancho Villa and want to be called the Alamo Busters, Bill.
Well, I don't know exactly what their nickname should be. I know that Chavo Guerrero seems to change his tune. I listened to him the other day on interviews, and he said when the Spanish Blue Bloods came and discovered Mexico and met the Aztec Indians, that they were a product of that they had royalty blood in their veins, and that Spanish was the international language of the elite. Then the next comment he made was that in Mexico, they certainly have their peons under better control than we have here in the United States. So Chavo and Hector Guerrero are an enigma at some time. They do a lot of talking, and they blamed that riot the other day just south of the border on the CIA trying to stir up trouble in Mexico. He also said that he was an advisor of the president of Mexico, and that he's advised him not to repay any of the interest or the debt to the American banks that America had stolen northern Mexico, which is the United States, from Mexico. So these guys seem to have a lot on their mind, but without a doubt, they've been wrestling since childhood. They're very quick. The Mexican athletes have a tremendous amount of courage. We've seen them dominate the lighter weights in boxing, and these men have been together since childhood. They come from a wrestling family, and you see they know every skill. Chavo Guerrero was a former world's junior heavyweight champion. Hector Guerrero, they're tough guys. See that tremendous skill. They have all the skills, and yet they seem to... Oh, Tim Horner showing that he has the skills too. Tag is made behind Chavo's back. Shawn Michaels in. Flying head scissor. Chavo Guerrero has found that these youngsters move right with him. These guys trying to have this match as a stepping stone to their title match in 2 weeks with the Rock and Roll Express here on Mid-South Television. It would really upset their plans for Shawn Michaels and Tim Horner to beat him. A reverse karate kick by Chavo, who is a complete athlete. High knee. Tags his brother Hector. Shawn Michaels fighting off his knees, but Hector Guerrero, a very savvy professional. Chavo Guerrero takes Shawn Michaels to the ropes. He's got him up in a bear hug. Wow, tremendous Greco-Roman maneuver. Like I say, Chavo and Hector Guerrero, they have all the skills. Standing through play, Hector quickly goes for the cover. Tags his partner, his brother. Chavo goes up while they have the 4 count. Hector puts Shawn Michaels in a full Nelson. Chavo Guerrero dives off. That's a very effective maneuver for him. 1, 2, 3. A victory by Chavo and Hector Guerrero.
Complete teamwork, and it results in a win for the Guerrero brothers. We'll be back. The Mid-South Television title on the line, Buddy Landell versus Terry Taylor, after this word from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match one fall with a 15-minute time limit. It is for the Mid-South Television Championship. Introducing first in the red corner, presented by General Skandor Akbar, the Mid-South Television Champion, 232 pounds from Los Angeles, California, Nature Boy Buddy Landell. In the red corner, the challenger, 231 pounds from Vero Beach, Florida, Terry Taylor.
A Mid-South Television title match, which means it is for the duration of 15 minutes instead of the usual 10 here on television. It's the champion from California, Buddy Landell, defending against popular Terry Taylor.
That's right, Boyd. And Buddy Landell wearing sunglasses today. He's kind of a contrast, because here at the taping today, it's one of those horrible winter days where the streets are icy and slick and snow in the air and sleet. And I want to tell you, wrestling fans are the greatest fans in the world. You know, New Year's Eve in Tulsa and Oklahoma City, Mid-South had two big events in horrible weather with the forecasters telling everybody to stay home, and yet a tremendous crowd came out. And of course, Buddy Landell is really trying to punish Terry Taylor. This was one bout that was requested more in the green match male than any other bout, to give Terry Taylor a shot at the television title, because the crowd had really been for him, and they felt Terry really got cheated out of that title with the most unusual maneuver in the world when Adrian Street pulled that infamous kiss on TV. And this is the answer to a lot of your dream match male. I want to congratulate the fans of Little Rock, Arkansas recently for one of the cold, icy days when they came out. This is a time of year you never know the weather, but these wrestlers also are great, great troopers, and they get to these engagements any way they can through ice and sleet and snow, and it's a warm feeling to get there and find loyal fans that have braved the elements. Skandor Akbar out there watching Buddy Landell, who he calls the most improved man in Mid-South, as the action is fast and furious, and Terry Taylor's got Buddy Landell in that hip toss, and Landell barely got out. Skandor, Iceman King Parsons has just come to ringside. The Iceman has come to ringside. He has no right or reason to be there. However, he's pointing at Skandor Akbar. Akbar is upset, but he's not coming over to push it too hard. He's crying to the referee, but the Iceman has said he's going to be a thorn in Skandor Akbar's side, that he's come here from the Dallas, and he plans to invade Mid-South. And listen to this crowd. They're razzing Buddy Landell, calling Buddy, 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 and then they're cheering for Terry. Terry's a youngster that has taken Mid-South by storm. You always see some young ladies in the audience with roses. They generally give Terry the roses, and of course Terry, a single youngster who really enjoys the ladies and enjoys pro wrestling. Terry Taylor, an exciting young man, but Buddy Landell is a conniving, loudmouth type of guy that backs up everything he can. He's become a top star. He's a tough one. He's been a very key man in the General Akbar's plan. This is what started the whole thing with Akbar and Hacksaw Butch Reed, as Akbar tried to add Reed to his stable, and Reed refused. Reed said he walks alone. The amazing thing about Butch Reed is he's also gained the respect and loyalty of many fans, and it's caused quite a change in the big stallion. Buddy Landell has Terry Taylor down. Akbar still protesting the Iceman's presence. The Iceman does not have a manager's license. Reverse chin lock. Again, in response to hundreds of letters, we've given Terry Taylor this chance against Buddy Landell for TV title. Looks like he's got it. We appreciate your mail. We are interested in the matches you'd like to see. Looks like he's got him. It's so close out there. Another key bit of mail that we've answered again is by barring Dr. Death's helmet from any Mid-South wrestling contest. Reverse chin lock, Terry Taylor. Buddy Landell trying to cut off that air. Iceman and Akbar carrying on verbal barbs outside the ring. I don't think Akbar wants too close to the Iceman. The Iceman was badly burned a few months ago in Dallas, and Akbar was blamed. Akbar denies it. Terry Taylor coming up to a top wrist lock. Powering out Buddy Landell, a tough forearm. He drives those forearms in. Buddy Landell has a lot of explosion. But Terry Taylor, a gallant, valiant, and a man who's had such a history around this television title. It's only fitting to give him that chance right here on TV. Another great main event. And you hear the crowd cheer for him. Akbar's up on the apron. Akbar has no right to be up there. Ron West tells him to get down. Leapfrog, Ronnie West barely got out of the way, but when he drove out of the way, Akbar tripped him. Buddy Landell's got him. Buddy Landell's got him, and Ronnie West admonishing Akbar. It looks like Terry Taylor's head. No, Terry Taylor got out. And the Iceman has come around after Akbar. The Iceman has come after Akbar. Akbar retreating. Getting out of control here. Oh, the Iceman just tripped. Iceman just tripped Buddy Landell. Terry Taylor won the television title. An inside cradle. Terry Taylor won the television title. Terry Taylor, the TV champion. Look at the exultation on the face of Terry Taylor. The Iceman has struck General Akbar's organization. Akbar's upset, Landell's upset.
And Terry Taylor, the new Mid-South television champion. Exciting action coming up when we return on the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This tag team match on Mid-South Wrestling is one fall of the 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red corner, at 258 pounds from Omaha, Nebraska, Ted DiBiase. His partner at 276 pounds from Oklahoma University, Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Their opponents in the blue corner, at 220 pounds from Amarillo, Texas, Private Terry Daniels. His partner at 270 pounds from New York, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
There you have it, and listen to the fans. Tag team action at its very best from the Cobra Corps. Private Terry Daniels and his partner from New York State, the foot-stomping Hacksaw Jim Duggan, versus Ted DiBiase and Steve Dr. Death Williams. Now you see Ron West saying, give me one man from each team. Two things that's missing, Bill, that I observe right now is Steve Williams, Dr. Death, without his helmet, and Ted DiBiase without General Skandor Akbar.
Well, that's right. Akbar is still pretty flustered. I don't know what's happening here, but isn't it like it always is? Seems like a bad weather day, and the fans that braved it out here today have really already seen a ton of action, and it looks like it's heating up fast and furious. Private Terry Daniels of the Cobra Corps, a proud young Marine, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a proud American, bonded together against King Rat and Dr. Death Steve Williams, and Dr. Death, a four-time All-American, and Ted DiBiase. He and Hacksaw Duggan have no love lost. Terry Daniels, a youngster, the pride of the Marine Corps. He's got that proudness. The Marines want a few quality men, as they say, and Terry Daniels is certainly one of them. Reminds me of Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. In many ways, young, clean cut, a man that asks no question, just gives it his all. Of course, Dr. Death Steve Williams, 270-pound, four-time All-American. Terry Daniels has got a big, tough one against him. And Ted DiBiase from West Texas State, formerly of Omaha, Nebraska. His dad, an all Big 7 champion who was fatally injured in the ring. Ted DiBiase, one of the most experienced, deadly men in wrestling today. A key man, an associate of Skandor Akbar, a man who doesn't let Akbar handle his business as a business associate. And Ted DiBiase, oh, here it is, Hacksaw Duggan. Terry Daniels tagged Hacksaw Duggan, and the ring just cleared. Has a wild man out there. Even Ronnie West gives him room. I'll tell you, when Duggan's eyes go to sparking and he goes to stomping, you're going to see something happening. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, we got a big announcement next week. Duggan received a tremendous award from Mid-South, selected by all the promoters, the board of directors. We'll have that here next week. As well as next week, Brad Armstrong will defend that North American title against Dr. Death Steve Williams right here on TV. DiBiase just can't take the big, powerful, stiff-necked, tough 23-inch neck Hacksaw Duggan, but Duggan can't stand DiBiase. This feud has gone in the annals of wrestling as one of the all-time feuds, and it all started because of Skandor Akbar. Maybe that's why Akbar doesn't even want to be out there. Terry Daniels kicked DiBiase in the head. I'm telling you, it's getting down and dirty. Maybe Akbar doesn't want anywhere close to Dugan when he's in one of those moods. And now the Iceman and Butch Reed, and the crowd is counting with Ronnie West. The crowd counted up to 7, but DiBiase got back in before the 10 count, and Hacksaw Dugan, who said DiBiase can wrestle, but he can't fight. And DiBiase claims that Dugan has a glass jaw, which anybody that's been around Dugan knows that's a lie. Dr. Death. Dr. Death, a man to be reckoned with without Mr. Helmet. A proud youngster, a tough man, a good wrestler, in condition. But he's against Hacksaw Dugan, one of the most devastating pieces of wrestling machinery ever to get into professional wrestling. And look at this battle of strength. Tag is made, Terry Daniels. Oh, Dr. Death. About 50 pounds of difference right there. Terry Daniels, the only thing that keeps him in that league is that tremendous conditioning and his Marine Corps training. But even that is hard to overcome inside that squared circle when you're outgunned by 50 pounds. And now the King Rat steps in, Ted DiBiase. DiBiase drives a knee into the solar plexus of Terry Daniels. He right now has to be gasping for air, that all those miles he's running, those combat boots, is the only thing that's keeping him going on strength and tradition right now. You can hear Dugan lighting the cheers, the crowd's behind him, and Dugan. Dugan just drove a knee in outside on DiBiase. Hacksaw Dugan went down outside, and then Ronnie West is admonishing Dugan. Dugan drove a knee in, and DiBiase's kidneys must be screaming right now. Dr. Death took advantage of the situation while the referee was admonishing Dugan, and whiplash Terry Daniels. Who will make the tag? Both men going for the tag. Tag is made. Dr. Death is in. Ronnie West telling DiBiase to get out of the ring. Hacksaw Dugan can't stand it. This is bringing into a warfare. DiBiase Dugan is in his best at the street style. Pandemonium, boys. Pandemonium.
Rat-tat-tat like a machine gun, and like you said, Dugan just
What's
couldn't
DiBiase
stand it.
doing? What's he doing? DiBiase putting something in that glove, and he cold-cocked Private Terry Daniels, and Dr. Death is there to pin him. 1, 2, 3. DiBiase again avoids defeat with the edge that he's put in that glove.
We'll be back as action continues on the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match on Mid-South Wrestling, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red corner, presented by General Skandor Akbar at 259 pounds, from Bad Street, Sheik Hercules Hernandez. His opponent in the blue corner at 225 pounds, from Marietta, Georgia, the North American heavyweight champion, Brad Armstrong.
Jim Ross introducing the next event, Brad Armstrong, the North American heavyweight title holder, against Sheik Hercules Hernandez. And General Skandor Akbar is back at ringside here on Mid-South as Randy Anderson calls for the bell. Bill?
Well, this should be a great match. These men are strong and well-conditioned. This should be awesome. Terry Daniels was knocked cold by Ted DiBiase. He was still on Green Street during the commercial break. He had to be helped from the arena. It only intensifies the feud between DiBiase and Dugan. I know Dugan, his goal is to get DiBiase one-on-one where he can't run. Brad Armstrong, the North American champion, the youngster, came in here against Ernie Ladd and reversed the tables on Ernie Ladd, took a chapter out of his own book and beat the big fella, and is now the North American champion. And as North American champion has come to Mid-South and started campaigning against all challenges. And as you said, Boyd, Skandor Akbar back on the scene. It seems like when Dugan or Reed's not around, Akbar likes to make his presence known. But the general, a very devious man, a man that picks his spot, a man can never be counted out. Look at this power. Look at the power. And Hercules attacks Brad Armstrong. Oh, but Brad Armstrong caught Hercules Hernandez. Look at that drop kick. He has an awesome drop kick. Tremendous power, tremendous condition. And I know it's a very smart tactic he used against Ernie Ladd, a bigger man. He stayed away from him. And then he would attack him from long range with the drop kicks and the quick motions. With Hercules Hernandez, he's changed his tactics. He's working in a little closer. But he still has that tremendous spring and that tremendous drive. This youngster is an exciting man. Hercules just hit him a forearm smash to the forehead. Drives him with a reverse elbow back into that corner. Hercules unchained, and Akbar is trying to turn him into a tremendous weapon. Wow. These men move like lightweights. The speed and the conditioning and the quickness. 250-pound Hercules Hernandez going up to put the coup de grace on Brad Armstrong in his non-title bout. And Brad Armstrong has just been driven to the mat. The crowd here solidly behind Brad Armstrong. Standing suplex, vertical suplex, almost like the brainbuster. Killer Carl Cox had a little different twist to it where he drove the head straighter in instead of dropping them over on their back. And Dick Murdoch, of course, had learned that from Killer Cox. Very similar. Sometimes it's only the finest bit of technique that separates these holds and makes one more devastating than another. Backbreaker. And Bob Armstrong's son, Brad Armstrong, out here right now. You can hear him coughing and choking in agony as that probably almost froze his kidneys and took the wind out from the lungs right behind. Oh, inside cradle. Brad Armstrong manages to keep Hercules Hernandez off balance, but Hernandez driving it back in, battering him, beating on him. Brad Armstrong fighting away. Both men out there now toe-to-toe, but Brad Armstrong seemed to fire up, gain new strength, new vitality, knowing that he can hurt this man. Almost Hercules is so awesome in his initial onslaught. Sometimes you don't think anything can stop him. But this is the courage of these youngsters. They're going to fight to the bitter end. He went for a high drop kick, and Hercules grabbed the top rope, and that threw Brad's timing off, and he fell on the back of his own head, and Hercules, quick to capitalize, has just given him a severe case of whiplash. The Shin-o-namaki. He's got Brad in the Shin-o-namaki. It looks like that's it. It looks like he's got him, but Brad's fought to his feet. Brad Armstrong has used Skandor Akbar, who is cheering his man on to kick off, but Pee-wee, the referee, Pee-wee Anderson, is down
in the ring.
Akbar has just come in the ring and kicked Armstrong in the back of the head to save Hercules Hernandez. And Pee-wee Anderson, who was behind him and got the full brunt of the situation, doesn't see it. Cheek Hercules Hernandez. Cheek Hernandez has got Brad Armstrong laid out. Here comes the Iceman. The Iceman King Parsons as Hercules Hernandez goes up to jump off. The Iceman pushed him. The Iceman messed his timing up, pushed him. Brad Armstrong has got him for the fall. Skandor Akbar, though, going in. Pee-wee Anderson calls for the disqualification. Now, pandemonium, boy. The disqualification. Brad Armstrong, the victor by disqualification. Pee-wee saw Skandor Akbar's interference. The Iceman, again, a thorn in the general's side.
Iceman said a week ago, every time Akbar looked up, he's going to be looking at him. It proved true again. We have more action coming up. We'll be right back after this word.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match on Mid-South Wrestling, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the blue corner at 245 pounds from South Carolina, David Diamond. Ladies and gentlemen, making their way into the ring, presented by General Skandor Akbar and accompanied by Friday at 387 pounds, Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior.
David Diamond taking on Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior, under the auspices of General Skandor Akbar, as Friday takes off his equipment in the far side. Paul Fergie, the referee now, anxious for action to get underway. Mighty Warrior from Uganda.
I'll tell you, when he walks in the ring, you better be ready for action to get underway. I've seen big men in my day, but I've never seen men his size that can move like he can, have that natural instinct. He knows how to hurt you. He's a natural wrestler. He's vicious. Everybody wonders the survival between he and Butch Reed. Butch Reed, who became a king of Mid-South in many aspects, and then Kamala, the man who's beat Andre the Giant, who's beat the Junkyard Dog, Akbar's most feared weapon. And Kamala is just, he's already annihilated this man. Kamala this guy never got out of the blocks. Kamala's awesome. I'm not sure that Friday and Akbar have full control of this man. He seems almost like a pit bulldog, just kind of taking his time and putting up with folks.
David Diamond never knew what hit him because the hook, the big Kamala got him. We'll have Jake the Snake Roberts coming up when we return after this word.
This match, one fall or television time remaining. In the red corner, at 252 pounds from Atlanta, Jake the Snake Roberts. His opponent at 227 pounds from Huntsville, Alabama, Rocky King.
Rocky King being introduced in the ring, taking on the returning Jake the Snake Roberts. Paul Fergie the bell, here's Bill Watts.
Jake the Snake Roberts, definitely an international star. A vicious, tough guy. Rocky King, excuse me. I still can't get over Kamala. Kamala is awesome. Butch Reed has got the toughest challenge of his life on his hands. Akbar knows what he's doing. You never know who's going to reach in and pull out next. It'll be a part of his scheme and his plan. Remember, 2 weeks, the Rock and Roll Express against Chavo and Hector Guerrero for the Mid-South Tag titles. Next week, a special award to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And also next week, right here on Mid-South Wrestling, Brad Armstrong will defend the North American title against Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Jake the Snake is just, he does things that I've not seen in the ring. He's 6'5", he has tremendous leverage. He slithers like a snake. There it is. That's that maneuver he has, that DDT. Jake the Snake. He annihilated Rocky King, boy, Chris.
He certainly did, Bill, and Jake the Snake Roberts returning to the Mid-South area, and he makes a very impressive victory as he takes on Rocky King, who's still out in the ring. Coming up next week, as Bill Watts told you, we're going to see a special award to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, presented by all the promoters on the Mid-South area, and Brad Armstrong from Marietta, Georgia, will defend the coveted North American heavyweight title against the challenge of Dr. Death, Steve Williams. We appreciate
and Dr. Death will not be able to bring that helmet to the ring. The Doc's going to have to go on his own without any crutch.
One against one, and we appreciate so much you being with us, not only this week, but every week, making it a fact and put it down every week in 1985. Join us on this same great channel on Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. Till next week, goodbye, everybody, and thanks for watching.